I, 32 male, don't know what to get for my live-in sex pet, 27 male, for his birthday. Advice needed. Howdy ho ho ho, and welcome back to Hole Chat, a podcast about queer stuff, gay stuff, yuri, yaoi, fucking deep hole, whole thing. That's what we're doing. That's what it's about.
Hole.
This is my hole, and it was made for me.
Yeah.
And I'm your host, Chuck, and with me is the person who holds my leash, Keelz.
I don't like that there's a leash involved.
Oh fuck! No! Not the race thing. Like live-in sex pet thing. Nope, it's not better. You made this racist.
I just said I don't like the leash thing because I don't like pet play. Or the racist thing, now that you bring that up, too. No, I don't like pet play, you weirdo. Pet play, children, is... No, y'all know what that is.
They should know what it is. If you're old enough to listen to this, you should know what pet play is. Sorry.
I just imagine it would hurt your knees a lot. It's not because it icks me out. It's because I'm like, I bet you'll be really sore no matter how much you prep.
Well, Merry late Christmas on that note.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we hope you guys had a good one. That it wasn't fuck-ass terrible.
And happy Hanukkah. May all those candles be in your holes. We don't talk about hole enough. I'm trying to workshop it in.
Whatever you celebrated over the last few days, I hope it was great. Happy holidays, of course. Whatever was happening, I hope you had a good time. I hope you gave or received whole, if that's what you wanted.
Ugh.
Do you want whole for Christmas?
Yes, I know Christmas should be past by the time this episode goes up, but I really hope I get whole for Christmas.
Wait and see. Santa's got something special for you.
Ooh.
Kringus, of course, for me, means being indulgent, and one of my favorite comics just wrapped. So it is time for that. We are doing exactly what I want to do. Not like we don't normally do what I want to do all the time, but this is so on my bullshit, it's insane. This manhwa contains a giant unhinged brat of a man and his capable stray dog lover, which is just chef's kiss. I could not write better myself. I'm so glad that this author made this for me specifically.
Me and me alone.
It's all about me, yes.
But hey, we do all the hole you like. What about the hole I like? No, I don't even know what type of hole I like. I'm so boring. I just want men sitting at a breakfast table holding hands.
That's that old man yaoi vibe.
Yeah.
We'll cover some old man yaoi.
Ugh.
I got a good one in mind. We can figure out some old man yaoi.
Yeah. I do like unhinged stuff too, because like I'm sitting here going, yeah, old man yaoi, relaxed and good, and then I also immediately was like, ooh, Lupin the Third times Koichi's Nagata, troublesome old man yaoi. Let's throw in Jigen as well. Yeah, it went places.
Well, I will say that this one today is more of a fun unhinged than a terrible interpersonal drama unhinged.
Yeah. If this is the one I think it is that you've gushed a few times about, I'm actually looking forward to hearing it because, like, admittedly, I also love a brat king and their weird stray dog of a man. Mm-hmm. Like, those are fun ships.
Mm-hmm. They're amazing. Also, apologies if you hear horns beeping in the background, even for a second.
God.
I'm going to kill one of our neighbors.
It's a New Year's resolution. Your car goes off at all hours of the night. We should just kill them.
Yeah. Next time you hear Whole Chat, they might be dead. But Boss Bitch Baby is the first manhwa written and drawn by Docto, and their only long work so far. They love power bottoms and kind tops, and wanted to write a rom-com instead of something angsty, which is what they usually do, which is why there's plenty of violence and kidnapping and shitty parents in this one.
But this is very chill for them, I bet.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're having a good, fun, silly time.
Look, put some angst in a story, go for it. I'm just, like, asking that it all works out in the end, and that people who did shit get what they get, you know? Because I'm tired of this, like, I'm going to forgive you because I'm mature. I don't want that. That's real life. I want the fantasy.
Hey.
I want you to shank the man who hurt you. Do it, damn it.
Hey, this time, we're going to have a good time.
I'm so excited. Shank the people that hurt you. If you can't do it in a fantasy, then when are you going to do it?
Several people are going to get beaten up or shanked in this, so...
And they're all bad men?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I really want.
But despite all of the shanking, harming, kidnapping, manipulation, ultimately, Boss Bitch Baby is a love story.
That's the title for real?
Yeah, it's really called Boss Bitch Baby.
This sounds like a porn version of that one kids movie. Boss Baby?
No, way better than Boss Baby. Boss Baby's...
Like, this sounds like Pornhub or a porn site heard of this terrible movie and was like, hey, you know what? There's already a Star Wars porn. Let's make a porn out of this.
It is almost impossible to search for this because on top of the Boss Baby thing, like, you'll get results for Boss Baby when you search for this, but then also they censor the bitch part because you're so... Yeah, they say...
I mean, like, that makes a little sense to me in a weird way. Bitch is kind of like... That's kind of a weird thing to see on a book cover. Boss Bitch Baby.
Yeah, so it's like the middle of bitch is like X'd out on all the official artwork and everything. But yeah, this one does get mixed up with Boss Baby all the time. And I hate that because this is good. And Boss Baby makes me upset for the mom.
Yeah, to do that pregnancy over again.
We're not doing pregnancy.
Spoilers for Boss Bitch Baby.
Spoilers for Boss Baby. She gets pregnant twice and has to forget about it. Fuck that.
Oh my god.
But focusing in on not Boss Baby, no Boss Babies at all. I don't think there's a child in this except for in flashbacks. Just horny adults. Just horny adults.
With a terrible title, Boss Bitch Baby.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to bring this up a lot because holy shit, I can't believe that's real. I have heard you say it before and I thought you were making a joke.
No, that is the title of this comic and that's part of the reason why I started reading it is I thought, no way that's the title. I thought for sure this was a mistranslation because when I got exposed to it, it was only being like fan translated. So I thought it was an accident. And then I came to find, no, this is on purpose. That's the name. We will go into what the title means as well.
The title has meaning?
The title has a meaning. Yeah. It has an in-universe meaning.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I just can't. Like,
yeah.
What a title. Like, good attention grabber, though. I'm going to give them a hole for that, actually. Because, like, I'm, again, unlikely to read yaoi because my weary soul is tired of drama and angst and just wants something warm and cozy. But if I saw that title out in the wild, you know I'd read it because I'd be like, oh my god, Chuck Tingle, you did a manga?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it grabs you.
Yeah, very grabbing.
So, Wild Start, featuring our main character, Yooseong, and a male sex worker about to dick down.
Cool.
First page, that's what we're doing.
Look, no judge, man. Like, gays have it hard in other countries.
Oh, no, wait. Gotta wait. Except, the sex worker won't keep his mouth shut and follow the rules that have been set, which are don't be rude. Yooseong gets to keep his shirt on.
Okay.
And Yooseong must be referred to as Hyung for the duration of the fucking.
Is he also on bottom?
Yes. Yooseong is on bottom.
He's the little boss bitch baby bottom. Let's add more to this title.
You are so close already. Still, it is a wonder that someone as handsome and obviously well off as Yooseong needs to pay for sex. Because that's what the sex worker does. He's like, what? Why would you need to pay for sex? You're so handsome and attractive. And Yooseong, you can see him getting aggravated immediately. Like, I told you not to fucking ask me shit and not be rude.
I'm aggravated as well, too. Don't ask shit. Like, I'm aggravated for this poor man as well. Like, just fuck me. I'm paying you.
Yeah. So then the sex worker promises he's going to pleasure Yooseong like no other. But homie's already mentally checked out. Yooseong's gone somewhere else.
Oh,
while this dude is trying to be like, I'm going to make you come 1,000,000 times. I'm going to make you come from the front and the back.
I bet he's a minute man.
He's not a minute man, but you're already tired for him.
I'm tired for him.
You've met this man for 2 seconds and you're like, Yooseong, go somewhere else.
Like, again, you don't know someone's circumstances, but especially as I've learned in Asian countries, sometimes you just need to get dick down on the down low and move on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's safe.
Mm-hmm. Yooseong immediately checks out because he's remembering the encounter that started this whole foray into paying for sex. He'd gotten drunk one evening at a bar and made a connection with the young, handsome bartender, Koo Hojin. Hojin bought him a drink and eventually brought him home so they could, do the nasty. They just barely got into fucking when Yooseong sobered up and revealed that he'd never bottomed before.
Oh.
So he just picked up this young man and was like, yeah, we'll smash. And Hojin had his clothes, like, mostly off and was, like, fingering him and then put it in. And then Yooseong's like, you know what? I haven't done this before. I'll just let him know. And of course, like, Hojin's like, oh shit, we gotta stop. So he immediately says, like, okay, if we haven't done this before, this is not going to be the night to do that. How did you even let this get so far? So Hojin pulls out and apologizes profusely for not realizing how drunk Yooseong was.
Is he turned off by the fact he's a virgin?
He's just
like... Or just like he's being really considerate?
He's being very considerate. Because he's concerned that it's like, wait, you went all the way up here, I got you naked, and only now are you telling me, like, I haven't done this before? And he's like, you're a grown man. We probably should have discussed this more. Mm-hmm. I just assumed you must have been drunker than I thought.
I forgot the drunk aspect of it, too. Because that would be, if you had a couple drinks and then, like, y'all go home to do the nasty. And then someone's like, this is my first time. I think that would probably make me want to be like, let's stop, check in, maybe do some water.
Right. But Yooseong assures him that it's chill and that they can just continue. But Hojin still apologizes anyway, and then starts cleaning them both up, and he offers to make him soup in the morning, like, hey, you're probably going to have a hangover, I'll make you some hangover soup. However, upon seeing how kind and respectful Hojin is, Yooseong is still interested in boning. Hojin should be disappointed, or angry, or something, some sort of negative emotion, but instead he's giving big puppy energy. So he's not upset at all by having to stop sex, like, mid-thrust, basically. He's fine and says it's more important that we're both comfortable and that I don't make a bad mistake while you're shit-faced. So he catches Hojin before he gets off the bed, ruffling his hair, and says, I like giving rewards to nice, obedient boys.
Yeah. So this Hojin guy was our puppy guy.
Hojin's the pup, yep.
Okay, but Yooseong is with a sex worker now?
In the present, he's with a sex worker about to get digged down.
Okay.
So they fuck anyway, and it feels good. Like 10 out of 10, first time bottoming, adorable top, 5 stars, would come again. Literally and figuratively.
Oh yeah. I'm glad for him. And like, that's honestly a very cute connection. Like, it's really cute.
But this is just a sample of this flashback. The flashback is actually even longer than this, and they reveal more information about the lead up and how they both got there later on. It makes it even sweeter of a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So we're already starting in a cute place. We haven't gotten to anybody getting shanked yet or beat up in an alleyway. So we're doing good.
The shankening.
Mm. So that brings us back to the present, where Yooseong is getting pounded by some rando who's now upset that he's not being paid attention to. Like, you can't be focusing on something else, baby. Look, I'm right here, and I'm trying to take you to Pleasure Town.
And the train has gone off the tracks. Pleasure Town is not coming.
Yeah, Yooseong realizes this isn't working. It's not the same, and he tells his partner as much. Mr. Gigolo assures Yooseong that he's going to make him, again, come from top to bottom, and keeps going. Adding in an ass slap for emphasis.
This feels like this is not the man to ass slap.
So,
he may be on bottom, but he very much feels like a power bottom.
Yeah, this man, like, Yooseong also came into this encounter dressed in a pristine, like, Armani business suit, like, designer business suit, with his hair slicked back. Mm-hmm.
How did I know that without you telling me? The moment you said he left his shirt on, I was like, this man's in a suit. Like, yeah, like, this is suit behavior.
And his white button-up is probably more than a car payment. You know what I mean? Like, this dude, you don't slap the ass of this man unless he specifically tells you to.
Yeah, no, like, This was just a feeling I had. Glad I had that feeling come true. Good Lord.
So the sex worker, he keeps going on and on to himself about his sexual knowledge, completely unaware of the trouble he's about to be in.
I'm embarrassed for him. Come on, man. Is this your first time in sex work?
So, like, mid-pound, Yooseong sits up and punches him hard across the face, knocking him off the bed and knocking him out.
Yeah. Out unconscious or just out of his hole?
Out unconscious. Like, the body was just flung onto the floor.
Oh, yeah. No, I felt that coming.
Mm-hmm. Yooseong then gets dressed, admonishing him for acting rude because that's what he told him not to do beforehand. Then he places some money on the nightstand and thanks him for his time. Very business, much synergy, even with the punch in the face.
I wonder how much he gave him. Like
what he was owed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the math on that is like, well, we didn't finish our allotted time, and I had a miserable time, but I did punch you in the face.
No,
you know.
I'm gonna show my bias real quick. If anybody has seen the Yu-Gi-Oh meme where it's Seto Kaiba writing out like an unreasonably large amount of money on a check
like
and then
$1 million.
Yeah, and then stealing somebody's car. This is what Yooseong is like.
Yeah.
He's gonna pay you regardless, unless you really offend him. He's gonna pay you regardless. So, like, this dude didn't follow his rules, but he still deserves to get paid for his time.
I felt this. I felt this was coming. I love this. I'm down. You know, we are both Yu-Gi-Oh stans. I would say
we're Yu-Gi-Ohs forever.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Ho-Ho-Hos. But like, no, we're down. Like, I'm down for a Seto Kaiba motherfucker. You know, being like, nah, this sex isn't working. I'm gonna punch you out. Don't really do this, but it's so funny.
It is. Once outside of the hotel room, Yooseong places a call to one of his subordinates. We don't really get to know her name super quick, but I'm gonna refer to her as Miss Yoon.
Is that her real name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were using a pseudonym or dropping it.
No, it's just easier to go ahead and get names out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he calls his subordinate Miss Yoon, instructing her to find Koo Hojin.
The dick was that good, he wants him found.
Mm-hmm. He gives a physical description and says she can use force if necessary, though he'd prefer otherwise.
Oh my god.
And he demands that Hojin be brought to him by 9 a.m. the next morning and not a minute later.
Oh my lord.
So we switch over to Miss Yoon. Her full title at her job is Chief Secretary Yoon. So she is directly below Yooseong and is supposed to, like, do his day-to-day administrative task and basically,
put up with this bitch.
Yeah, she puts up with a lot.
Oh, man.
They switch over to her, along with another employee. It's past normal work hours. They're currently on the hunt for Hojin, and it's, like, probably 8, 9 p.m. at night. And this poor subordinate, too, like, we see him multiple times. He's complaining, like, I was on a date with my girlfriend. And Miss Yoon's just like, hey, listen.
Deal.
This is what's, like, working for him. We get paid double what we should be paid. Just go with him on this one. The faster we find this dude, the faster we can get the fuck out of here, and you can go apologize to your girlfriend with the extra money that you're being paid. He's like, I know, I get it. It's like, dude, I'm so sorry. This is not the only time you're going to have to show up at like 8, 9, 10, midnight to do some crazy shit for this man.
Dude, I want to know how much money it is, because, like, I'll do some crazy shit for money. Let's go.
Yeah. In this day and age, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some exposition about how weird of a request this is, but this is really just the tip of the weird iceberg. Secretary Yoon is always, like, sympathetic to other employees on behalf of her boss because she kind of has to be, because she's kind of at the helm of this stupid ship.
She must be a little masochistic, though, that she's just like, whatever, I'll do it.
She's got her reasons.
Okay.
They enter a simple and obviously cheap apartment building, causing the unnamed employee to question just what on earth Yooseong, his high-powered boss, would need with someone from this side of the tax bracket. They soon find his apartment, but are quick to discover that there's a kink in their plans. The apartment door is open, footprints litter the floor, and Koo Hojin is nowhere to be found. Looks like someone else was interested in nabbing him that evening.
What a twist.
Mm-hmm. Cut to Hojin. Or really, Hojin's head and the pool of blood growing beneath it.
Homie, what the fuck?
Yeah, homie's got a little owie from a big bad gangster.
Does he owe him money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as he's coming to, he can hear several men arguing about how he even got this injured. Because apparently he wasn't obedient enough and fought too hard. So we very quickly find out from some information about Hojin, which is that he beat up a bunch of the Yakuzas before he tried to escape. And so they're pissed that he even fought back at all. And then, too, was somewhat successful in taking some of their men out.
Can I just say that, like, whenever a bad guy is like, how dare they fight this hard? I'm like, did you just expect them to roll over?
Yeah, they did, truthfully.
Like, I could understand if you have a gun. Like, maybe don't fight the guy with the gun. But if you just got your fists, and I think I got a fighting chance, let's go, you know?
Well, also, even in this case, Hojin is, 27. He's already finished his military service. So he's even seen a gun. So he's going to be less nervous about a gun than a normal person would as well. Because he knows how to clean, empty, and handle one. Yeah, exactly. So even then, they have to come with more. I truly fear Korean men past a certain age because they all have, thrown a man to the ground. You know what I mean? For funsies for an extended period of time. So this is who they're working with. And they were still like, he's so young. How is he so strong and good at fighting? And I'm like, well, he finished his military service anywhere between 2 and 6 years ago, my dude. He's still fresh.
Yeah, can I just say that hearing about the military service thing, I'm always like, that's kind of cool that they go do that. But it's also kind of not cool, you know? Mm-hmm. But I always have mixed feelings because I'm always like, ooh, that's so interesting that you go do that. Mm-hmm. But then there's that whole but you're you have to go do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I got weird feelings about it, but I'm always fascinated by it.
I get you. Hojin realizes that he's been caught. He tried to run away, but was stupid, he thinks, and got caught anyway. He ponders whether he should just bleed out here or hold on so he can be sold off into a brothel.
Is that what they want to do?
That's what he's assuming they're going to do. They're gangsters. He knows he owes the money. He already knows what this is about beforehand. Yikes. The gangsters, realizing he's awake, remind him of exactly why he's in this situation in the first place. He owes them 300 million won, which amounts to about 300,000 American dollars, because his brother and his wife, the recipients of that loan, have run off, leaving him to foot the bill.
Now that's bullshit. This I don't get. Of course he's not going to want to pay that damn bill. Of course he's going to run away.
So Hojin owes a house's worth of money, all because he is the guarantor on an insane loan with some gang-backed loan shark.
That sucks. You hear about this plot line a lot too. It sucks so bad.
Yeah, there's an explanation as to how he got here, and it's going to make you mad, so buckle up for a second. The gangsters find that both he and his brother to be incredibly difficult. One ran off, the other one beat the fuck out of them, but since their boss has some experience with Hojin, they're willing to cut him a deal. So, the boss's daughter, has a crush on Hojin or something like that, and so the boss was like, give him some options, don't just immediately throw him in somewhere.
Hojin, go give her an orgasm. Go suck her clit. I know you're a gay man. Just do it. Get out of this money thing, ho.
Yeah, that is the thing. Bad news, because there's plenty of comics where you've read it, and it's a man's first foray into gay relationships, or he's bi or something. Hojin's been gay for a long time.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just polish that pearl, man. Come on. Get out of this money thing.
So they ask, since special service or whatever, they ask that he just give them the whereabouts of his brother, and he can walk free, never to be bothered again. Okay, cool. Sounds reasonable. But about that brother of his, they were never especially tight when they were younger, but his brother came to him in need when they were both adults, begging him to co-sign on a loan that could help him get into a supposedly lucrative business. You know the song and dance. Yes, Hojin, while he feels for him and offers to help in other ways, including giving him cash, thought it was crazy to mess with a loan shark and refused. Straight up said, no, I'll do a lot of stuff for you. I'll help you work on the business, but I'm not going to be co-signing shit for you.
Yeah, no shit.
So his darling older brother waited until Hojin was asleep, forged his signature, and obtained his legally binding fingerprint while he's passed out.
You know you have a problem if you're doing that slow. If you are fingerprinting your unconscious brother to trick him into signing some paperwork, look at yourself. Look at yourself.
Did all of this while he was spewing some shit about, you won't need it because you don't have a family, and you can't have kids, so it'll be totally fine if you have to pay 300 million fucking won.
Hey, brother. Hey, brother. Listen. I hope your wife takes all your money and, leaves you for someone younger and hotter. I bless this upon you.
Yeah. So, brother the fucking year, right?
Brother the fucking year. Does he have a name?
He does have a name. It's not super important. I got it written in here somewhere. We'll get to it.
You just not care enough about him to, be like a...
I have an issue that he didn't have a strong relationship with Hojin and then abuses what relationship they do have as fast as possible and knows he's gay and uses that as a reason to get him into this loan. And it's like that sets something off in me that I couldn't care less what he's fucking named.
Yeah. No,
you know?
Dude, I get it. When you're just fuck this character so much. It's so funny to me how, not necessarily the main antagonist, but, a side antagonist or the person who gets the plot rolling can be the person you hate the fucking most. Because sometimes it's not man, I'm not mad at Frieza, but this fucking, Vegeta guy, you know what I mean?
I will give one slight spoil to you. His wife is no longer with him. We find out.
Awesome.
They are separated in some way and they never get back together. That is confirmed by the author.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Loser, I hope your dick falls off and you never get another woman.
I got some crazy shit to tell you later, too.
Oh my god, yes. I'm getting Christmas early. Everything I want to happen is happening.
So no, Hojin has no idea where his brother is. And he would have taken him out himself if he did know. This, of course, means nothing to the gangsters. Their leader's gonna break a couple of his bones regardless.
That's just bad management. I need you to make me money, but I'm gonna break your fingers first.
Well, their whole thought is, how dare you beat up our men, so we're gonna break your bones out of aggression, and then we're gonna put you in a host club.
It's still stupid.
I think it's stupid too. That's not good businessing, but it is what it is. He was going to break a couple of his bones until they're interrupted by Yooseong's crew.
I'm just imagining this tiny secretary being like, excuse me, we need him.
Not even excuse me. She just barges it. They're holding him in a location and they're just like, yeah, we found him, so we're going to take care of it. They just walk in mid super serious shakedown as though their need of Hojin is more important and time sensitive than this gang's. Which it is. It is more important.
Yeah, I just, again, I am picturing just this, I don't give a fuck what you have to say, secretary being like, excuse me, I don't care. Get out of my way. I'm busy.
Exactly.
I love her already.
So, cue fighting between the suits and the gangsters. Blood is spilled. Teeth are knocked out. All over Hojin. Realizing the circumstances, Hojin tries to sneak away, but he's overcome by dizziness. Oh, yeah, that's right. His head hurts. And he's bleeding. Time to take a danger nap.
Oh, man.
We love a good danger nap.
Okay. I don't know what's going to happen next. But if he wakes up and has amnesia and doesn't remember he gave some man the best dicking of his life, that would just... I'd cackle. We'd have to stop this podcast so I could laugh really hard.
No. Amnesia's canceled. We're done with amnesia for right now.
Okay, but that would have been pretty funny.
Another time. But flash forward to the next morning. Yooseong is sitting in his office, legs crossed, waiting. It's 8:55 a.m., 5 minutes before the deadline.
Jesus Christ.
A few minutes later, Secretary Yoon bursts through the office door, dragging a still unconscious Hojin over her shoulder.
How beefy is this woman?
Not.
Honey.
She's 5'4".
Make one of the suits carry him.
No, she's determined. Her boss asked for something, she's bringing it. So Hojin's 6'2". And she's just got him propped up on it and is dragging him into the office.
You're going to have to show me the panel of that later. I want to see that.
Yeah, it's very cute. I'm very proud of her. So drags him in, full-grown man, on her very tiny frame. And then she, says excuse me to her boss being very polite, like, excuse me, I brought what you're looking for. He says in response, "You're late. It's 9:01.
Ooh, someone's cunty in the morning.
Super cunt. Immediately. Hojin wakes up a bit later, like legit bolts up to grab his head. Still hurts, though at least the blood has been cleaned up at that point. And then he's thinking, where the fuck am I? Was he picked up by a different loan shark that his shitty brother sold him out to? He has no idea. He doesn't have much time to think as Yooseong enters the office, explaining that they're not loan sharks and admonishing him for fiddling with his scalp, because he does have a wound hanging out back there.
And just fingering it, my dude?
He's trying to figure out where it was, because, everything came at him pretty fast the night before, and he's been unconscious for a while.
I really don't have a right to judge him. I'm just being sassy.
He sits across from Hojin, reminding him that they've met before, months ago. Hojin informs him that he's hard to forget. He's got a gorgeous face, gorgeous bod, and legit, Yooseong was the best lay he's ever had. He's pretty much unforgettable.
Hojin, Jesus Christ. Hey, I woke up with a head injury, but what's up?
Oh, well, also, Yooseong is good looking.
I mean, yeah, but it's also that, like, I woke up, my life was threatened, I thought I was going to be put in a brothel. Oh, but hey, how you doing?
Yeah, legitimately.
Yeah.
But I get where he's coming from. I agree. The question is, what would someone so unforgettable and so clearly well off want from him? Just some guy who has to work a couple of jobs. Especially since their last meeting turned sour. Specifically, after they had this wonderful moment where Yooseong's like, this is the first time I'm bottoming and this is some great sex for both of us, and there's some other underlying things that made this really special. Yooseong just left a wad of cash on the table next to the bed and then ditched. So Hojin's in the middle of making breakfast, and then he just threw cash and was like, gotta go.
You idiot. You treated him like a sex worker, and he's not a sex worker. Yeah, that's a sour note to an ending.
Uh-huh. Yooseong apologizes for offending him, but without missing a beat, moves on to the main agenda of this kind of pseudo-meeting. This is not quite a meet cute, because they technically did that already, so this is something worse. Yooseong has purchased all of Hojin's debt, which is great news.
Great news.
Right? And he has an excellent deal that he says will benefit both of them.
Oh my god.
The debt goes away forever. He will be given a place to stay, free meals, the works. As long as he doesn't leave his home for the duration of the contract. As long as he stays in his apartment and just does what needs to be done.
As long as Hojin stays with them?
Well, at this point, Hojin can keep his apartment, but as long as he stays in that apartment and doesn't really go anywhere, this will work. And then, most importantly, Hojin needs to fuck Yooseong whenever he asks. So we have actually gotten to, oops, you're doing a prostitution.
Oops, you're doing a brothel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Alright, if you were charmed by someone, this is how not to pick them up.
Uh-huh.
So, flashing the cash and being like, I've bought you. It's, sexy in a fantasy way. But,
yeah.
Also, damn, you put your foot in your mouth, 3 times.
Oh, Yooseong is trying to kick his own gallbladder. You know what I mean? The foot's so far down there, he's trying to play soccer with his organs. Yeah,
So he's gone past his asshole already and he's up in his guts.
Yeah, he's just...
God.
The reasoning for this whole hullabaloo is that Yooseong hasn't found anyone as good as Hojin. Which, okay, fair. But this is not how you do this. He could just ask him out. Even Hojin's thinking, if the sex was that good, why didn't he just ask me out?
Yeah, why'd you throw money at me?
Yeah.
I know that there's probably a reason already because, again, there are reasons. But holy shit, dude, you gotta be you can't be this bad at the social skills.
This is tip of the iceberg. We got places to go.
Oh, goodness.
Of course, Hojin says hell and no. The biggest hell no.
Oh, I love you.
He may be poor and struggling, but he has his pride.
I'm so glad you have your pride. I'm proud of you, baby.
So he'd rather pay back the loan penny by penny than get involved in some shady shit, much less be someone's personal dildo. He faces off with Yooseong, locking eyes with him, making sure that he understands every word. Find another dildo.
Good for you.
Yooseong gives him a long look and then says, "That's too bad."
All right.
Okay. So Hojin steps out of the room and starts making his way toward the elevator at the end of the hall. He gets spooked by Secretary Yoon, who apologizes for the rush job on his head wound and offers to take him to the hospital. That's super nice of her. But why? Because Hojin is going to get out of here at this point, right? Well, she assumes that Hojin signed the contract and she's now going to be in charge of his maintenance. Except Hojin didn't sign the contract. Secretary Yoon looks surprised, then deeply concerned. You mean to say her boss just let him out without a fuss? The same man she served for years gave up on something he's taken an interest in? No fucking way.
Holy moly.
She implores Hojin to turn around and sign the contract. But behind them, the elevator door has already opened, revealing several men in suits. They grab Hojin and force him down onto his knees. At that exact moment, Yooseong approaches, contract and pen in hand. And he says, "I know it's only been a minute, but perhaps you've changed your mind now."
Did he know about the men in the elevator?
Yeah, he called them.
You're an ass.
Yeah.
Dude. This coercion, man.
So Hojin never actually had a choice. Just an explanation in the form of an offer.
Bitch.
Though Yooseong would rather him not tie him up and put him in the basement, he still is being like, "You have to do this."
You're a bitch. Yooseong, you're a bitch. I get the title of your book.
You're starting to get there. So, fully understanding the situation he's in, Hojin signs, securing his fate for the next year.
At least it sounds like he's gonna get to top this guy rather than have to, like, be fucked by him. Because I don't know why, but that makes it feel a little better, like he's getting a little more control.
I know what you mean. He then watches as Yooseong removes the pack of cigarettes from his pocket and crushes them in his hand. Because Yooseong does not like smoking, which is fair. But what a fucking metaphor for the mess that Hojin's in. Like, this little bit of freedom you have, I'm crushing it. You don't get to smoke anymore.
Well, now I don't like Yooseong. Now I don't like him.
And when I tell you that there's a very weirdly sweet reason for getting rid of the cigarettes,
make me like him.
I will. So, Hojin gets dropped off at his partially destroyed apartment to clean up the mess and contemplate his new situation. Meanwhile, Yooseong is off talking to his grandfather, or more specifically, purposefully antagonizing his grandfather. Because grandfather, I would push grandpa into traffic.
Grandpa's the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get that out of the way now. I would push him into traffic. Yeah. I would give him cement shoes. And he would deserve it. But Yooseong's a disgraced chaebol, and his grandfather lives for tradition and modesty. So the fact that his grandson is a gay freak...
So he says that about him.
Yooseong says it about himself at this point, but it is because he learned it from watching his grandfather.
It's probably what his grandfather said about him. Yeah.
Yes. Obviously, Yooseong is considered the worst of the worst just because he's sucked a dick before. That's really the main thing. Because traditional-ass grandpa's like, you can't be a woman, and you can't suck cock.
I'm trying to decide if I like Yooseong more than homophobia, because right now I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like, well, this explains why you're a prick, but you're still a bad man.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be mad at you.
So grandpa's trying to lay down the law, explaining that Yooseong is on the right track, but he needs to keep his shit together and stop boofing dudes if he wants to become executive director.
Okay, did he say boofing for real?
No, I'm saying boofing.
Okay. If he said boofing, though, God.
This would be so much sillier. Like, there's a lot of comedy in this comic, but it'd be so much sillier if Grandpa was, using weird-ass slang all the time.
Yeah, I mean, like, I hate to say it, but when you see, like, mean old homophobic people, you almost wish they'd say weird shit. Mm-hmm. Quit laying pipe, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, then it'd be chill. So, Yooseong had been sent to manage a small subsidiary of the company in America due to his transgressions. and his brother had been set to take the reins. But with his brother, Hee-seong, going off the deep end and embarrassing the family, he's back in good graces. Kind of.
Are we gonna find out what Hee-seong did?
Because that's also complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But dang, that's 2 grandsons that can't seem to be normal enough. So Yooseong insults his grandfather's ability to sire worthy heirs, like a caring grandson would.
Good for you, Yooseong. I'm still mad at you, but you're BabyGirl right now.
Grandpa,
Sometimes you're mad at them.
Grandpa yeets scissors at his face.
Oh my god! I can't breathe. What?
I'm not kidding. He, Grandpa's in the middle of pruning some, bonsai trees or something. He's pruning some plants.
Oh,
and then he takes those scissors and yeets them at Yooseong's face.
Oh my god, the shearing scissors. Jesus shit.
Yeah, and he nicks him at the base of his cheek. And to Yooseong's credit, he doesn't fucking flinch.
I mean, I'm impressed, but, can I just say, for people who are I'm gonna throw something at my heir, if that thing had struck him right in the middle of the forehead, story's over for you, grandfather. What the fuck you gonna do now?
Girl, this should give you an idea of who we're dealing with, right?
I feel like that's the thing that happens a lot. It's well, I need this person, but I'm also gonna, hurt them and try to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's think with your brain. Okay, you need this person, but if you kill them, then you're shit out of luck, my friend.
We do not have people firing all cylinders, and I will tell you, Grandpa has not been firing all cylinders for a while.
Jesus Christ, boomer.
But yeah, so this obviously is excessive, but Yooseong's also right. He does have 2 grandsons who are fucking around. So, obviously, whatever Grandpa's been doing has not been working. On the way out, Secretary Yoon in tow, he unfortunately comes across his mother.
Oh, so he's got a mom, but he did say unfortunately.
She legit snuck up on them purposefully. So, they were walking and she goes a little, peekaboo behind you thing, which already is unsettling.
Mm.
And she's uncomfortable. But she seems to share her son's feelings on Grandpa. They're both hoping he dies sooner rather than later.
And this is his real mom, not a stepmom?
This is his biological mother, yes.
She's uncomfortable.
She's very uncomfortable.
With him, or just she's kind of creepy?
She's creepy as shit, dude.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
And then she's uncomfortable with her children as well. If you look up uncomfortable in the dictionary, she's drawn there.
It's got her face all gum, no teeth.
Not quite that. I'll also show you a picture of her because her eyes are just very large and it sucks. It's not a good choice. Yeah.
Very large and flat-eyed look.
Yeah.
Blank.
Uh-huh.
Ugh. She's seen some shit.
Mm-hmm. Back with Hojin, homie's hungry and he needs to feed his giant puppy dog body. He attempts to get food from nearby when he discovers that he has a bodyguard watching him with the instructions to not let him leave the house. So he didn't even realize that stepping out of an apartment, he'd be met with some dude in a suit being no, you're not supposed to leave the house.
I don't like this life already.
But Hojin's I don't have any food left in my apartment. I gotta eat, dude. And so he convinces the bodyguard that he's just gonna go around the corner to a lunchbox place.
Does the guy come with him?
Yeah, he's following behind him. He knows the auntie that works at the lunchbox restaurant, so he's doted over, and they're both served up huge portions of food. This woman has been watching over him since Hojin's mother passed away, so she's been worried about all the apparent gang activity surrounding him recently.
God, if only you knew, lady.
Right, because she actually met with the gangsters that were looking for him to try and shake him down originally, to shake him down for the cash, and then apparently she also had been questioned by Miss Yoon and her gang of people as they were looking for. So she's had a lot of weird people who look like gangsters be where's Hojin? Where is he?
This poor woman.
Show me where he is. Yeah. Hojin, being the sweetheart he is, somehow ends up helping her run the cash register for the evening rush, much to the chagrin of his bodyguard. Because the bodyguard was if you're going to eat, that's fine. We'll eat real quick. But even he was can't we take it takeout? And she's no, look how thin he looks. He needs to eat more. And then she's I'm having trouble because the person supposed to be helping me run the cash register ditched. And so how am I supposed to keep the store open? And he's don't worry, auntie, I got you. And so he puts on his little apron, and all 6'2" puppy dog of him is, of course, standing outside the restaurant being like, your students, come on in. And Hojin's handsome. And so all these, like, young women are like, holy shit.
Yeah, we'll come in.
And the lunchboxes are $6. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, let's eat.
Yeah. So I have a feeling that, like, Mr. Puppy Dog is just charming as shit.
Yeah, he's out there slinging smiles, being charming, selling lunchboxes like a champ.
Even his bodyguard is now charmed, huh?
Even the bodyguard's too nervous to be charmed because he's much more afraid
of his boss
than he is charmed by Hojin.
That's fair.
But he's already been charmed enough by Hojin to like let him downstairs and do stuff. Yeah. So things are going chill. Lunchboxes are selling out until everything grinds to a halt.
Uh-oh.
Yooseong, Secretary Yoon, and the snitch bodyguard are posted up in the doorway of the shop. Fun's over.
Who's the snitch bodyguard?
The one that was with Hojin. He snuck off at one point.
To tell on him.
He tattled.
Bitch.
He was like, hey, I don't know what to do. Please don't get mad at me, but he's out here doing stuff.
Oh my lord.
Little bitch baby, yeah. Yooseong drags Hojin back up to his tiny-ass apartment and tries to get what he's paid for, which, fine. But he's also being weird and saying shit about Hojin, like, wagging his tail for just anybody and looking very frustrated in, like, an unsexy way.
This is not fun.
So he's being a little asshole at this point.
Yeah, you're being a real cunt, man.
They're loud enough that they piss off the neighbor, which breaks Hojin out of his own frustration hole. Because, like, yeah, Yooseong's a jerk, but there's something underneath his jerkiness. So there's, like, some real kind of honest emotion that seems to be covered up in a prickly veneer. And so Hojin apologizes and calms him down, holding him as he, like, finishes him off. Because as much as he's seeing him get super angry, he's like, oh, like, you're frustrated. Like, you're actually not mad at me. I feel like you're trying to take it out on the situation. But he starts thinking, like, I think you want to fuck because you're mad? And that's weird. But also, you punched a hole in my wall. And I'm afraid of that, but it's kind of hot. Because when the neighbor is like, hey, keep it down in there, Yooseong, like, looks at the wall like, how dare he? I'm in the middle of something and, like, almost punches a hole in the wall. Like, severely damages the wall.
Did it scare the neighbor?
Yeah. Well, scare the neighbor. And then they don't get to actually fuck in Hojin's apartment because the neighbor called the cops. And so the cops knock on the door and Hojin has to, like, de-escalate the whole situation and be like, I'm so sorry, we didn't mean to be loud and whatever. Nothing's going on. And that's when Yooseong starts realizing, like, can we stay here? Can we actually fuck in this place? Because this is going to happen every time. I'm going to get mad.
Yeah, you probably need to move him to your nice big fancy house. All I gotta say is just like, this is weird. Hojin, you're a little stupid. You're a little dumber than I thought for being charmed by this.
Yes, because to him, Yooseong is an asshole, but there's just something so appealing about him. And sometimes he's just too goddamn cute.
Sometimes dogs are stupid.
Yeah, Hojin is a little stupid, and you find out how stupid he can be so quickly. Because after this, that's when the real meat of the story starts to kick in. Because Yooseong realizing that he cannot leave Hojin in this apartment and actually expect to get the deep fucking that he wants. And also understanding that Hojin is in stray dog mode too much, ends up removing him from his apartment, canceling his lease, and then bringing him to his own penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So he ends up giving Hojin the whole first floor of his penthouse to kind of be his kennel.
Oh, God.
And he's allowed to do whatever he wants there. And then that's where things get super strange. Because now, obviously, he's like, you sit here, do this. But Hojin's realizing, too, like, Yooseong barely takes care of himself. There's, like, only bottled water in the fridge. There's no food in there.
Oh, my Lord.
There's tons of alcohol, but nothing to eat. So he has to ask, like, Secretary Yoon for groceries. He has to ask her for a rice cooker because there's nothing to, like, quickly cook rice in. What he's provided for is, like, this is what my pet would need, is not even what a pet would need. Because you start realizing Yooseong barely knows how to take care of himself. And that also, the person likely taking care of Yooseong most of the time is Secretary Yoon.
Okay. I thought I was like, oh, this is so cute. I'm enjoying it. I'm now back to tired. I'm now back to, I'm a 50-year-old man. I need whiskey and, like, the static sound of a radio at 3 a.m. to calm my heart. Like, holy shit.
You don't realize how stupid so many people are in this in very specific ways. Hojin's becomes obvious because, I'm sorry, I wouldn't immediately look at Yooseong and think, like, oh, adorable.
No.
I would think, danger.
Danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, holy
But he's
shit.
immediately like, he's just a little guy. Yeah.
I'm tired. I want whiskey. Time out. We'll be back to your regular schedule in a minute. I'm going to get booze.
Sure. So, before we get into characters, we have to understand what boss bitch baby means in this context. Because Hojin is actually the one that coins the term boss bitch and baby. So Hojin, from a young age, was working like at a bar or in other sorts of service industry sort of jobs that he maybe shouldn't have been old enough to work in them. And so he has a conversation with a friend of his that helped him get some of his work. And Hojin at the time too, like, has a bruise on his face while he's like taking out the trash behind his business. And his friend's like, well, why don't you come do XYZ? And he's like, well, no, I'm fine with the bar. I'm used to it because you get 3 types of people in a high-end bar like this. You either get a boss, the sort of person who believes they're always in control and think they're the kings in every setting. A bitch, someone who has extreme anger issues that they'll unleash on anyone, which is how Hojin got the little bruise on his face. Or a baby, which he considers hornballs who are down for anything and will flirt with everyone.
So, boss bitch baby is essentially baby girl term for him.
Little bit baby girl, you are correct. What he's essentially describing is a baby girl. And like, he gets asked at that point, like, okay, so there's only 3 types of customers. Well, have you ever met someone that's all 3? And Hojin's like, no, but if I ever do, I'm going to make sure to stay away from him.
Cut back to him and Yooseong, right?
Yeah, just like, I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah.
That's what the problem that he has.
Hi, this is me.
Yeah.
Bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yes, and so that's what this is about. So, our main character, of course, is Baek Yooseong. Her family name is Baek. And so there's multiple other Baeks in here, obviously, because there's his brother and his mom and his grandpa. Okay. Yeah, the company that they own is called Baek Yooseong. So it has their name and then the word in it. But yeah. So Yooseong is 32. His name means meteor, which is apt since he is pretty from far away, but a disaster up close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Hojin makes this comment about him being like, oh, well, he's hitting me like a meteor. But I think it's also apt to just call him a disaster up close because his life is a little bit of a disaster. He's the one who the title is about. He's a boss, a bitch, and a baby all at once. He's good looking to a fault, but he's very dangerous. He's ridiculously hardworking and a chaebol, but he set out to prove that he could inherit his family company rather than lie back and let nepotism take its course. Being gay and naive threw a wrench in his plans and also the general trajectory of his life. He is a crazy motherfucker in more ways than one, but also really suffering from some intense stress and conflicts of his identity. For every insane thing he does, you realize someone else in his family, 1, has done worse, 2, is a reason he thinks this shit is normal, or 3, put him in a position where it was necessary to escalate. So the deeper you get into this, you understand that he's kind of one of those characters who never had a chance to be normal about shit.
He's like a wounded animal.
Yeah. If we're doing animal metaphors, he is also, like, Hojin's like a dog, then Yooseong is his own kind of wounded animal as well. There's too many problems to count that are kind of make up his life. Yeah. So he doesn't really have the opportunity, I think, to form healthy relationships. And then there's a big catalyst as to why he's not forming a healthy relationship with Hojin at the start, and why he's like, I need to do very specific things with them. Because if you had sex with some person and you were like, oh my god, I gotta go back to them, I can't forget the night we had together, you're gonna start thinking romance, and maybe we can fuck one more time at least, or have a casual relationship, or fall in love and maybe date. Yeah. And he thought, I have to keep him for a year, and then after a year, I'll be fine.
Boy, that's his whole plan. You are gonna be my sex pet for a year, and then I'm over it.
On top of that, for the first, like, week or two, he doesn't even see Hojin. Like, he comes back so late that Hojin doesn't even see him, so he doesn't even use him immediately. They have the one incident at Hojin's apartment, and then Hojin's just locked in this penthouse by himself for a while.
That sounds like something that would happen, though. Like, if you're like, if a rich businessman tried to keep you, because I'm like, they gotta work,
right?
You know,
so and he works a lot, yeah. So it feels insane that he chose this. Under his veneer of a strong, capable, angry boss man, he is a baby girl.
Yeah.
He is a slutty little thing who turns pathetic under the right circumstances. Like, there's so many scenes where he's just wearing a shirt. Like, walking around buck-ass naked from, like, ass downwards. Just wearing a shirt. Wearing Hojin's shirt. Like, straddling him and being coy about shit. Looking over his shoulder like, are you interested? And it's like, what is wrong with you?
And also, what is with you and needing to keep the shirt on?
The reason why he keeps his shirt on is because when he first had sex with Hojin didn't take his shirt off. And so he was literally trying to replicate as much as he could of the night that he had with Hojin to see if he could get...
Oh. So that's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what in the autism?
What in the autism? I like that.
Because it's so specific, my dude.
I've been quietly thinking, is he neurodivergent? But, like, I wasn't sure if that was a nice, polite thing to say.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
He at least feels like, even brought on by his traumas, maybe there's, what is it? Rituals that he has to perform.
Yeah, he has a lot of rituals, and I do think it could be a little bit that. But of course, you know, growing up in a fucky environment, it can make certain things worse. And so I think that's even where he's coming from with this, like, let's kidnap a dude, is there's so many things going on in his life that this feels like an appropriate way to achieve some level of solace in a otherwise busy and very, like, compartmentalized life and stuff like that. So yeah, it's stupid, but I'm like, okay, you know, for so much of this comic, he looks like an annoyed cat. Especially whenever the artist does, like, chibi drawings, he always just looks like he has, like, little slit eyes and he's, like, kind of glaring at you from the corner kind of thing.
Those are your favorite types of characters.
I do love a cat bastard of a character, yeah.
You do.
He is also an idiot for Hojin.
That's nice.
Koo Hojin is 27 and a good young man dealing with too much craziness. He grew up primarily with just his mom and older brother, and he has always had a strong sense of justice and tries to save others from being mistreated on his watch. He's been screwed over by a combination of life events and his brother, but is content to keep pushing forward and working towards an eventual good future. Hojin's been working since his mom passed away and had to give up his dreams to support himself. So his mom passed away when he was 17, so he was about to be, like, a senior. He had good prospects to go to college on, like, sports scholarship and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all that ground to a halt because his mom died.
Yeah. Is he the younger brother or the older brother?
He's the younger brother.
Of course.
Yeah. His dating history is also terrible. He's dated 20 plus people in 10-ish years, and he's the one that always gets dumped.
Yeah.
This comes up too because Yooseong
looks into it.
He does a background check on how many people he's dated. Yeah. He's insane, dude.
I love it. Like, look, back to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm gonna say it. I ship Kaiba times Joe. This is giving me those vibes. I'm into it.
Like, he's such a fucking weirdo. He's like, I gotta know how many people you've slept with, because you're really good at sex, and now I'm curious. I'm concerned that you're too good at sex, and I'm jealous about it. It's like, shut up. You're a grown man.
Right.
Yeah, bad dating history. He also personally believes that being nice and doing the right thing is the only way that he can be loved, and that hurting someone means you're on track to be punished. He's likened to a fox because while he does have the, like, big puppy dog energy, he's also significantly more sly and calculating than he appears to be, though it's never for a bad reason. So every time you get this, like, big dog energy, he does know how to kind of subtly manipulate a situation. So especially at the beginning, as he's trying to feel out Yooseong, he does some things to kind of be smart about it. Like, he reads the room and kind of shifts the situation. And there's several other times, too, where he's doing things for a good reason, but he is trying to kind of subtly manipulate the situation.
Well, that's kind of nice that he's not just a himbo. Because it'd be also a little sad if he's just this person who's like, yeah, I could only be loved through caring, blah, blah, blah. Because, like, you should be allowed to show someone your ugly side and still be loved. And, like, maybe that's something that'll get fixed for him in this comic.
So for him, he does have a really distinct trauma about it related to his parents' relationship. And seeing how his parents' relationship was for a short time when he was a kid is what kind of tipped him over to believing you have to be a nice person, and if you've been a bad person, you have to suffer forever. Because he specifically... So his isn't like, oh, I'm just down on myself kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's also, I learned from my father that you should just suffer if you're bad.
Yeah. It's like, was his father abusive to his mom?
Mm-hmm.
And like, but he doesn't think he should abuse others. He just thinks that's what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So because his dad is still alive when their mom dies, and the dad shows up at the funeral and he tells him to go fuck himself. And that I don't want your money. I don't want your help. You deserve to suffer.
To his son.
That's what Hojin says to his dad.
Oh, okay, good.
Is that you deserve to suffer. So yeah, that's where this is where his mindset is coming from. Is that he doesn't want to be his dad really bad, and so that's where it's coming from. So he's a smart dude. He has a lot of street smarts. He's very capable. He's obviously not at the level of like, a highly educated chaebol, but he knows his way around situations. And I will say, the ending of this comic is so fucking sick because of what he's capable of. He delivers a line at the end that sticks with me forever because he masterminded that whole situation. So Hojin has his shit about him for sure. Yeah. He's one of the smarter people in here, considering he does not have as many resources as everybody else.
But like they're both emotionally kind of fucked up.
Yes.
Like, toxicity is, like, not always in my bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I do like it when it's, like, just two damaged people who are trying, and they're trying wrong, but, like, they're trying.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
They're trying wrong.
Yeah.
But they try.
Like, again, I like Zenigata times Lupin from Lupin the Third. I like Lupin times everyone in that series, and all of them are toxic in the best ways possible. Mm-hmm. It's a nice complication. And I'm like, I just like it when there's something in that series that's kind of propelled you to have a few toxic tendencies. Like, be it too much expectations were put on you, be it your home life was shitty, be it you went through that was like something that maybe wasn't bad, but too much pressure. Mm-hmm. Like, I just want there to be a reason, because like sometimes like in comics, it's like, this guy's family's great and everything's perfect and nice, but he's still toxic, and I'm like, that's a red flag, actually.
Yeah, like the hyper-rich person that nothing's wrong, but they still have to look an asshole. I know, that's really popular in certain outlets,
It is, and that's the red... And I'm like, that's more a red flag. Like, if something happened, and, like, they have fleas from that, that's normal human nature. But I'm a little creeped out and worried for my life when nothing happened to them, but they're still a little dangerous.
Holy fucking fair.
Yeah.
So, Hojin is also good at being a homemaker, good in bed, and he's got a big dick. His cock is so big. So unfortunately, he also thinks Yooseong is adorable. And so for everything Yooseong does, he's just like, why is he so cute?
Good lord.
Yeah, he matches Yooseong's freak. Whatever the fuck's going on with Yooseong, he matches it 100%. So, Yoon Jung-mi, who we know as Secretary Yoon, she's also in her early 30s, and she's officially the head secretary to Yooseong. But she's responsible for so many more things than she should be. She's the daughter of Grandpa Baek's secretary. Yeah.
That's like a family tradition.
Yeah. So her dad was the secretary, and so then she's destined to be the secretary for the next head of the company. They decided that before they were adults, essentially. Mm-hmm. And so she's been around the Baek family a lot for pretty much her whole childhood. She was hanging out in their household and spending time with them. She has a tight relationship with the twins, so Yooseong and his brother, she's got a good relationship with both of them. And she feels responsible for taking care of them. She's one of the only people who truly understands them and won't abandon them when they're being giant, violent brats.
So she gets along with both brothers, and you said they're twins?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's long-suffering and talented. She also looks unassuming, but is quite talented at fisticuffs and is stronger than she should be.
I love that.
So she also knows how to throw some fucking punches.
I'm down.
Yeah, she's great.
I have a crush. I want to see her.
She is very cute. She feels guilty for derailing Yooseong's life and is committed to not repeating the mistakes of the past. There's a reason why she feels responsible for both of the twins and kind of taking care of them, keep an eye on him, because she feels like something that she did caused Yooseong's life to get derailed and like send him to America and stuff. She didn't. No. She didn't actually do anything, and
she somehow got guilt about it.
She's got guilt about it because she saw something and then that alerted an adult, and then that's what actually flipped things over. So she didn't actually even do anything, but she's still like, if I just acted like a fucking normal person about it, this wouldn't be here. But Yooseong, as crazy as he's acting, is like, no, you didn't. You didn't do anything. It's not your fault.
Yeah, like I'm imagining, like my thought is like, maybe she saw Yooseong kiss a boy and that startled her. Mm-hmm. If you're a young person and it's your first time seeing that, especially of a family friend, I'm assuming, you're gonna react. You're gonna be shocked. Mm-hmm. Not everyone can play that off cool.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a really non-issue, but she still has guilt over it. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, the least I can do is make sure that Yooseong is at its rightful place, which is, at the top of things and, taking over the company.
Okay.
So Baek Yooseong is Yooseong's younger twin brother. And he is a flaming heterosexual.
Insanely straight.
Yeah, he's insanely straight. But you would think that, like, based on just stereotypes, you would think he's the gay brother because he's, like, into fashion, likes doing his nails, likes looking cute and all this stuff. But he very much is uninterested in men, doesn't understand how his brother's into men, thinks, like, these people look like shit, do better, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So he's insanely fashionable and artsy, and he gets along incredibly well with women because he'll be talking about the things that they're interested in. So you see a handful of women who are like, where's Yooseong? He hasn't been around lately. And these men are like, well, what's the big deal? Like, we're here. And they're like, he's so cute. And he always, like, compliments my outfit. And he always does blah, blah, blah. And he's fun to take places. So he's charming in his own way.
Yeah, I actually, like, when I was a girl reading shoujo, I liked that type of male lead. Where it was the cutesy guy, but who was secretly like, but I'm going to take you to Pleasure Town, baby. Uh-huh. I like that type of guy.
Yooseong has always been sickly, suffering from a wide range of allergies, and has some pretty aggressive asthma. Like, to the point where he can't be around the smell of smoke at all.
Oh.
So I'm going to remind you that Yooseong took Hojin's cigarettes.
So he's like, I don't need your cigarettes near my brother. Mm-hmm. That's all right. That's cute. Now that I know. You crazy face.
You don't find out for a while, but like, because Hojin realizes it at one point and is like, "Aw, shit,
that's cute." Damn it. Okay, baby girl.
His ailments weren't often taken seriously by the adults in his life, so he hasn't thrived as much as he should. Therefore, though the twins look pretty identical for the most part, and they look identical up until like probably about 18, as adults, Yooseong is shorter, skinnier, and all around younger looking than his brother.
Pause. The child has asthma and they don't take it seriously? Mm-mm. How do you not take asthma seriously? The child can't breathe.
They just didn't.
Did they not take him to a doctor and hear what it was?
They took him to a doctor when he was young because he basically came out of the womb like not like having very severe allergies and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And they just didn't do anything. They didn't do much about it. Like, doctors would like diagnose him and stuff like that. He had his medication, but more often than not, they're just like, well, we have to do this, but like, you just need to man up. You need to be exposed to it more, and then you'll stop having problems. If you inhale more smoke, you'll stop being allergic to smoke.
Such a 1950s way of thought. 1950s or 1970s. Good Lord.
And they're rich.
And you're rich.
And they're just choosing not to do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
So because of that, Yooseong really only loves his brother. And while he does do some kind of like off-base things, it comes primarily out of love, or the closest thing these people can experience to love. He's considered a throwaway child due to his illnesses until Yooseong gets sent off to America. He wants Yooseong to achieve greatness both for his brother's sake and for himself. Because he absolutely does not want to be the heir to the company. He would rather do anything else. Like specifically, he'd rather like sit in a studio and paint all day.
Oh, the little brother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when Yooseong gets sent off, he then is put in that place of having to to be successful.
Yeah, sorry, I checked out a little bit. I'm still stuck on not acknowledging asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so Yooseong's got
trying.
Yooseong's got problem. Miss Yoon has some weird like guilt she's holding on to, and has seen some of the things that these two brothers have been through. And then Hee-seong also has his problems as well. So you're starting to paint the picture of like
this family's a mess.
Yeah. So Hee-seong is also a total brocon, but partially for sad reasons. He has a huge hate boner for Hojin, but it makes sense with later context.
I imagine the hate boner is like, don't take my niece away.
It's a little bit that. There was a part in the comic where I thought, is this going to get incestuous? And then I was like, oh no, this is like some really deep-seated feelings of like kind of codependency and having issues in your own home life. So it's like, this is actually just kind of sad what y'all are going through. But at the same time, you're getting these like very deep moments, and then Yooseong like does something fucking ridiculous and you laugh about it. Or Hojin is dancing around like half naked in the kitchen and being like, I'm going to be seductive. And then Yooseong comes out and like boyfriend shirting it or whatever, and you're like, oh Jesus. Yeah. Like this is how this is kind of tempering out.
Yeah.
There's his fucking name. Yeah. Koo Hojin is Hojin's brother. He's in his 30s, and I would call him a son of a bitch. But that's derogatory to his poor mother.
So he's a son of a bastard because his dad sucked.
Oh yeah, he's stupid like his father. And
Sorry.
He's stupid like his father, and he takes the good shit he has for granted. He also deserves to be pushed down a flight of stairs. That's all I got. Fuck him.
Oh, wow. That was a very short character introduction.
You barely see him. There's one part where he becomes important, and it's really fucking funny, and I'm so sorry I can't give more details on it. But
Well, why not?
I want people to experience in real time, because it's so fucking funny how they lay it out. But he is kind of given as a gift to his brother, or he's going to be given as a gift to his brother, and then the situation goes sideways.
I imagine. I wish to know. I'm going to have to wait for the podcast to end, but I wish to know. I will show you, because
it's so fucking funny, and it's so fucking crazy that it happened to you.
Can I just say, I think it's very sweet that you try not to spoil climactic moments in stories, and that you try not to spoil the ending, and that you're doing all this nice stuff. But I also hate you.
I know.
I hate you so much.
Yeah.
I want to know what happens, but you're like, no, I'm only going to feed you nibbles because you want me to read it myself. And that is so nice for the artist. That is so nice. You are so nice. But I'm so mad.
You should buy this comic. It's cheap. So we have to get to the twins' mom, Baek Yooseong. She looks haunted, or like she would haunt you in an old mountain cottage somewhere in the Korean like wilderness.
Oh no!
Like big ghost energy is what she has.
Korean movies are terrifying. No,
she looks haunted all the time, dude. It's insane. Yeah, she's the only daughter of Grandpa Baek, and should, for all intents and purposes, be the heir of Baek Sung. Due to vagina, she's been relegated to a lower caste by her own children. And no matter how hard she works, she will never become head of Baek Sung. So her two sons are actually ahead of her for...
And this is Grandpa's decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course it is.
She has zero maternal instinct and sees her children as competition for the life that she wants. She hates being compared to Yooseong and to her father, though they're all victims of the environment they grew up in, and she truthfully has a lot in common with her son.
Yeah.
She kind of sucks, and she's creepy as shit, but it doesn't feel like a lot of her life has ever been in her own control.
Yeah, so she's sympathetic.
Yeah, but then she also regularly serves Hee-seong food that he's allergic to.
That's why I called her sympathetic evil, not like fully sympathetic. Because sorry, you don't describe someone as looking like a haunted doll and they don't put like a razor blade in your shoe or something.
Yeah, she just keeps forgetting that he's ill for some reason. And I'm like, girl, come on.
Sure you do.
She is nice to dogs and other animals, and she has a soft spot for her second husband. Which is a weird way to say that, but that's the best way I can explain her relationship with her husband.
Not loves him, but soft spot.
I don't know if she's capable of loving anybody at this point. Because she, as an aside too, she had an older brother who committed suicide, technically kind of for her.
Oh my god.
And so she like loved him. I think the closest thing she came to loving somebody was probably her brother. But then he did that for her, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm so sad that you're gone because I care about you, but you did this for me to hopefully get me ahead in the company." Yeah, so this is the psychological damage she's dealing with. All right. I don't think she's capable of.
All right, and I know that the grandpa exists. So this sounds like to me. Now hear me out. This sounds like to me. Grandpa needs to be taken behind the woodshed and mercifully killed.
I would agree with you.
Mercy killed.
Yeah.
We'll put a blanket over his face. Tell him to look at the flowers. He won't know what's happening.
I don't think Grandpa deserves that much care.
Ah.
I think he should be thrown into a wood chipper. Whew. Okay, so I have to go over another minor villain before we get into our major villain, obviously, which is the grandpa. So there's another character called Se-eun Jin-hun, who is also 32. He is a bitch coward. He's Yooseong's first love and the son of a hospital magnate. He's a major catalyst for Yooseong's hardships and, by association, Hojin's. I would push this guy down a flight of stairs.
Can you give any hints as to what he's done and why we should hate this man?
You can put together a kind of a vague idea about it. He was obviously with Yooseong at some point, and then with, the whole, like, oh, Miss Yoon saw something maybe she shouldn't have, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. You can kind of put together...
No, I can't. I'm telling you, I don't know what's happening. I'm asking you for a hint.
Jin-hun definitely, was dating Yooseong before, and then they essentially got caught.
Got caught kissing.
Yeah, and then this led to Yooseong getting found out as being gay, and then he got sent over.
And we're mad at him?
Yeah, because he could have done something to help out, and he decided not to. And then has been a bitch coward about it ever since. And he continues to be a bitch coward in the future, and thinks that he deserves to be more important than other people because he knows the bigs.
Okay. I still haven't put it together. I still feel like I need more information. I'm kind of there, but I'm also just I'm also kind of but he was outed too, so I don't know how I feel.
I will talk to you about it, and specifically what he does. You will then think he's the biggest bitch coward on the planet. And then you will have reasons to believe that it wasn't just stupid teenage tomfoolery, and that he's still like that.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely want to hear it, because, honestly, normally when you hear about outed characters, you feel sad for both. So, I'm curious.
I'd throw him down the stairs tomorrow. Okay, and then, of course, Grandpa Baek. Elderly. CEO of Baek Yooseong, and the main villain. Most things that go sideways in this story are somehow related to him.
Extremely homophobic.
Oh, yeah. Extremely homophobic. Extremely bad parent / grandparent / patriarch. Legitimately nothing good about this man, because you can't even be sure if he's a good businessman or if he's just ruthless and lucky, because he was putting together a business after the Korean War. So maybe he just got lucky and fulfilled some specific need, and that's why he got big. I don't know if he knows how to do stonks correctly. Who knows?
Stonks.
He hates his gay grandson, thinks he's legitimately sick and that he should have cured him somehow.
Oh no, he would have probably sent him to a conversion camp.
But he manages to hate his sickly, flamboyant grandson more.
What did his other grandson do that he's I hate him more?
He just thinks he's bad stock. How dare you come out sick like that?
So he hates the fact that his other grandson is sickly and that his first grandson is gay, and somehow being sickly is worse.
Yep.
The math on this.
Girl, I know. He's not firing on all cylinders.
Sure not.
He actively wants to make his daughter miserable to keep her in line, and just doesn't believe that his actions will ever have consequences. He's physically and emotionally abused everyone in his family.
Sounds like someone's gotta die.
He also abuses his staff. He is terrible to everyone.
Someone's gotta die.
Yeah.
With how bad and rough the world has felt lately, I just I sometimes wonder, I'm why aren't there more righteous murders? Or not even righteous murders. What would it be? Vigilante murders?
There is a young man who took out a CEO recently, and you would want this to be one of the next people.
Right? Like, someone allegedly did a wrong thing by taking out a CEO. Allegedly. Are CEOs of healthcare even people? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Point is, like, the world's just kind of tanking. But, like, it's especially people that you hear about like this who abuse everyone, who abuse their staff, and you kind of wonder, it's like, why aren't more people snapping? Is it just like humanity is hanging on to us so tight that we're not acting like wild dogs, which is good for us, but then it's like these villainous people get away with the like most awful behavior, and sometimes we're just sitting quietly about it. And I'm like, I'm not saying this is not a Joker speech, this is not a go off and kill people speech, but like I sit here sometimes and wonder, I'm like, dude, I wonder why we're not going off and killing people. Like, holy shit. Sometimes I feel like the world is about to burn and I'm just sort of waiting for it.
I would say, at least in the case of this comic, it very much is, because this guy is so powerful and has so many connections that he would need something major to bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not like people haven't tried, but they just weren't successful.
Yeah. But now he's old. Flight of stairs.
Yeah, and he's, I think, the only person who's actually killed someone in this comic that we can confirm.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so he's, like, deeply bad. And again, like, I know I'm kind of being dark here. Holidays, they're hard. But, like, holy shit, it's just, you gotta wonder when you hear about all this terrible stuff, especially when they inflict it on, like, it's like you're inflicting it on your own family. You're a monster to everyone and your own family. How are you still here? But I don't know. Like, it's also good that I think people aren't breaking under such sadistic behavior. Like, again, I don't think murder is the right way. You wish it was sometimes, but because it would probably answer some things. But it's
Welcome to Whole Chat. Fuck healthcare CEOs.
Yeah, welcome to Whole Chat. I will go back to drinking my whiskey. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so as always, like, you understand that Yooseong is BabyGirl, and I know in my heart that he's BabyGirl.
It sounds like the whole family is baby girls, but you've got levels of baby girls. You got baby girls you would actually want, and baby girls that it's like, no, don't.
Yeah, like there's toxic baby girls, and then, a regular baby girl. So I wrote out a little list of things that I picked up as I was reading it, and kind of sorted them into, like, the boss bitch and baby tiers personally. Awesome. So Yooseong is a man who only has water and booze in his house. Baby energy. I'm not going to eat, like girl dinner, 100%, right?
Okay, girl dinner, I get it.
Yeah. He won't eat his bread crust. Baby again.
Oh my god, child.
He gets cuddly, sleepy, and affectionate when he's drunk. Baby and a little bit of bitch, because both can do that. Doesn't hit when he gets mad or frustrated. Bitch.
Bitch energy.
Works constantly. Boss. Extremely hardworking and motivated. Also boss. You're on his schedule at all times. Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Jealous. Baby and bitch. Wine thirsty. Bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Convinced to do doggy style. Baby.
Why is that on the list?
Because specifically this scene is he doesn't want to, he's never wanted to do doggy style. He's never done it. Because also he's new to even being a bottom.
Right. But he has the thing against doggy style?
Well, he didn't want to do it because he's like, I feel like that's degrading if we do doggy style.
Okay, that's a normal thought.
It's a reasonable thought. But then Hojin says, I heard it feels really good when you hit it from the back because I can get deeper than I normally would be able to. And
his ears are just like...
Like his ear, yeah, like you can see his ears perk up and twist to follow this down. And it's me like, well, you didn't say it would get deeper.
Oh, God. Okay. Silly.
Yeah,
that's
so
silly.
The baby girl energy is off the charts. I know what you're thinking at this point. The main character is an unhinged asshole with a family to match, and the male lead is suffering from trauma and in danger. This sounds like a mess. Yeah, and also no. For all of the violence, sex, and manipulation, this is an emotion-driven story with a lot of sweetness to it, and also plenty of comedy. The characters you see most often may have their flaws, but they really care about each other and are driven by love, affection, and an urge to protect. Hojin's feelings are the most obvious, because he tends to be honest and transparent. But as the story progresses, you begin to see everyone's feelings seep out. Really, you just have to learn how to read and process the other characters' feelings because they're coming from wildly different backgrounds, where being earnest either wasn't easy or it was downright impossible. I cannot downplay the abuse the Baek family and those adjacent to them faced. A lot of heinous shit was normalized to the point where everyone in that family expects even the most benevolent of strangers to have an ulterior motive. None of them know how to express anger correctly, but most likely because they've never been able to address the injustices that they face. Mm-hmm. So they all very, very much kind of have that attitude of, they have the characteristics of people who have not been able to express their anger correctly. Mm-hmm. And so then it just explodes outward. So a lot of kids who have abuse issues and like kids who were abused and then become adults, they will have anger issues because they couldn't ever fight back when they needed to as children. Mm-hmm. And so then it manifests in like anger, because anger always has a reason, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're really mad about something. Something has triggered you to feel angry. Mm-hmm. And it's an emotion that you should be allowed to feel and work out, but you have multiple stunted adults that don't really know how to do that properly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it's kind of one of Yusei Young's major character growth points is to start figuring out how to kind of redirect that anger, process it, understand kind of what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do we get the feeling that Grandpa started this like terrible family tradition of assholery? Mm-hmm. That's
because it's his company. He is the first owner of the company. He built it from the ground up.
Okay.
Because you have to understand that like, because the Korean War was so recent in our history, and then even after that, they had a dictator for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Korea went real hot real fast with modernization and kind of building the upper echelons of their society. So people who got in early for even like minor stuff, just the fact that they had the capital and ability to make a decent business, they are the ones who are now the chaebols of today. But a lot of times these companies are not that old. Like, they might be 40 years old or something. They might be 60 at maximum at this point. So they're not really old in the way that we would consider, like, Macy's old. You don't have companies from, like, 1900 or whatever in Korea. And so this dude, he obviously made it because he's, I don't know, probably 70 or 80 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he was the one who started this. He started all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hojin acts like an excellent foil to Yooseong and the rest of the Baeks because he also has some pent-up feelings of anger, but he's forcibly doled that anger and aggression down in order to live correctly. So where they're all over the place and just being angry to whoever they feel like, he's basically blunting himself to never be too angry. And he's absolutely wrong to do this. Yooseong and Ko make some obvious bad decisions, but Hojin's out here denying the validity of his own feelings. The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, so he hasn't done therapy. He's just like, I refuse to be angry.
Yeah, I mean, and to be perfectly clear, he couldn't afford therapy if he wanted to go anyway.
That's true.
He doesn't have the time to. He's working a lot, trying to pay off debt, trying to keep himself afloat. But yeah, so as much as the Baek family needs all their therapy, so does he.
Yeah, so we essentially have two unhealthy types of responses to trauma.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He believes the only path forward is never causing harm to people, and that's incredibly noble, but it also ignores the fact that everyone will eventually hurt another person, whether they mean to or not.
Yeah, it happens on accident.
Yeah, people are complicated, and you can't be everyone's savior. You're somebody's villain, and it's not your fault. It is just what happened.
Yeah.
People are in different spots. Hojin's feelings are very dear to me, because I, too, know how it feels to punish or belittle yourself for not being nice enough. It's incredibly self-destructive and results in a negative self-image. You eventually wrap around to believing you're toxic to people, which is exactly what happens to Hojin. Like, he's got, honestly, some mild signs of clinical depression, and it's coming from, again,
inside the house.
Yeah, from him not feeling like he has enough agency, but also that he just refuses to let himself feel certain things. Mm-hmm. So he gets to a point where he thinks he's, like, bad for people, and that he shouldn't be near them at all. He seems well-adjusted and happy enough, but he honestly feels undeserving of the better things in life. His brother royally screws him, but he's still unwilling to seek him out for revenge or harm him in any way. But Hojin somehow thinks he's the problem in his own life. That he's the one that's doing the bad things.
Even though, like, it's like, dude, your brother is actively shitting on
you. Exactly, yeah. It's the sort of thing that comes from having to grow up too fast or be parentified in an environment where you also feel like you can only rely on yourself. Hojin has to have his shit together at all times, lest things go wrong, but it also makes him directly responsible for way too much shit. So neither Hojin or Yooseong fully have their shit together.
Mm-hmm.
So, Yooseong's got the money and the power, and then Hojin's got more emotional intelligence, but they both kind of, they need certain things from each other. Hojin needs the money and power. He needs some of that agency. Yooseong needs to figure out how to take a fucking chill.
Yeah, again, this is what I want from a Doctor with Yaoi. Just saying.
But yeah, the whole comic is filled with emotionally scented people, with a wide spectrum of extreme daddy issues. Like, even Miss Yoon has a daddy issue that you don't fully unpack until late into the comic. But everyone is trying to navigate their problems by holding fast to their goals, and most importantly, their dedication to those that they care about. The author, Docto, thrives on metaphor. Whether it's deep in characterization or foreshadow future events, or just to be big silly. Like, animal metaphor is the main thing that they use. What with Hojin being referred to as a dog, a fox, a pet, whatever. But Yooseong is likened to a cat several times as well. What really impresses me is how often visual metaphor is used. The Yooseong cat allegations are mostly due to the way he's drawn, with only one scene directly likening him to a cat. But when they do that, it was insane because they were overlaying Yooseong trying to give Hojin a gift. And while he is trying to lead up to saying, like, hey, I got you something, it's on the way right now, Hojin in the background is watching a documentary about a cat that's in the neighborhood that, like, shows affection to people, and the cat, like, brings an old woman a dead animal, and the old woman, like, freaks out about it.
And the cat's like, but why?
Yeah, and as the cat's going, but why? In that same moment, Yooseong realizes that the gift that he was going to give is not a good gift. And so it mirrors, like, the cat going, but why, mirrors Yooseong's face going, but why? I fucked up. What do I do?
Oh my god.
So they really do use a lot of visual metaphor to be as silly as possible sometimes, but also to let you know, like, hey, this is where we're going with this, or these are people's feelings and stuff. But Yooseong's name is also even used as a metaphor. Like I had said earlier about, like, the meteor thing and him, looking nice from far away but being a disaster. And then there's a children's book in universe that serves as a metaphor for Hojin and Yooseong's relationship. There are music lyrics that align with events in the comic. Like, they're just layering metaphor anywhere they can get it.
Can I say, all this talk about metaphors is making me think of House Bunny, but that's a meteorite. You mean a metaphor? No, I mean a meteorite. Like, it just came to me, and I've seen that movie like once.
It's fine. I mean,
but it's kind of like that because she was making a metaphor about a meteorite, and that's what's happening with them.
Yes,
and that's why I was thinking of it.
It's actually pretty impressive how much the metaphor comes up, but it helps to temper how insane things are at times in this comic because they're just doing whatever all the time.
Yeah.
The comic itself is incredibly well drawn. The staging and paneling are excellent and help convey emotions in textless scenes. The art is used as a vehicle for humor also, because there's plenty of goofy chibi drawings and extreme expressions over mild inconveniences. Docto is great at drawing furiously pouting grown men. And also they know how to draw slutty grown men. Docto is so real for drawing slutty grown men.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me actually show you some of the let me show you some of the art. This is Yooseong. So full, like, chaebol, in control, CEO energy. And then a little shot of Hojin.
He's very cute and fluffy looking.
Yeah, he's got, like, you can understand why Yooseong was, like,
charmed.
Yeah.
He does still have a shirt on, good lord.
Yeah. And then even now you can kind of see how Yooseong looks a little bit cat-like himself.
I think you just like cats. I haven't noticed yet. But you know the series more than me.
Yeah, he's just always looking at the corner of his eye. Let me also show you him being like, oh, let's stop doing the fucking, and then the ass slap.
That's a cat-like face. You just slapped my ass.
And then this is what I mean by the paneling being really good. Pre-punch, and this dude,
Bro.
and then him just redressing himself, and then he takes the appropriate amount of money out, and it's like, thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, and then Secretary Yoon. Yeah, she's tiny. Comparatively.
She's tiny and, like, very cutely average looking. I love it when a woman is unassuming, but she's gonna do some weird shit.
Yeah, Hee-seong always says that she has granny clothes on, but yeah, so she's doing that. I have to show you mom.
Oh, crazy doll-eyed mom?
Yeah, because she shows
Does the man that loves her look weird too?
No, he looks normal. The mom's husband looks totally normal.
I was just wondering.
And this is what she looks like initially, which is not great.
It's not scary yet either.
But then she's saying weird shit to her son about like, oh man, you kind of suck, but whatever.
Ah, there it is. Oh.
And a lot of times her eyes get bigger than this when she's saying something super unhinged.
Oh, there they are, the super scary eyes.
Yeah, so no, she's crazy. And then...
You came out of a ghost, son. Your mother is a ghost.
And I'll have to show you like Hee-seong and some of the other characters later because they come in at weird times. These are some of the characters we're dealing with.
Yeah, no, we're good. Like, homie.
But yeah, just a haunted doll of a mom.
It felt like when the big bad finally opened their eyes, you know?
That's what she looks like.
Yeah.
She does keep her eyes closed quite often to like be smiling and pretty. And then she opens her eyes and you're like, no, you can shut them, dog.
Please.
You don't have to do that. Despite all the craziness, kidnapping, mild toxicity, abuse, whatever, this comic is still about love. And two people falling into it at their own pace. What makes their relationship special is that they really and actually bring out the best in each other. Yooseong is kind of iffy on the empathy, but Hojin's got enough for the both of them. And Hojin doesn't know how to go apeshit and stand up for himself, which is all Yooseong really knows how to do. And most importantly, they both teach each other kindness. Neither of them are particularly kind to themselves, but they learn, through caring for one another, to not only let in external kindness, but how to produce and nurture it internally. Like, Yooseong's still probably gonna beat someone up in a back alley, and Hojin's gonna think it's charming, but kindness and love prevail, and they're still better than they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you want to read a wild and humorous tale about unhinged baby girl businessmen and the hardworking fox hunk he kidnaps, Boss Bitch Baby is for you. You can read Boss Bitch Baby on TappyToon. It contains murder, violence, child abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, deserved savage beatdowns, manipulation, kidnapping, guns, some fucky-wucky relationship dynamics, explosive anger, and idiocy.
I'm gonna add homophobia on that.
Oh, and yes, and homophobia. You were right. I'm so angry about the things that happened. The homophobia is not my biggest concern. I'm just too angry about
everything else.
Yeah. The series just wrapped the main story, but the side stories are still ongoing, and I recommend you read those as well. They're all AUs, so they're not integral to the plot at all, but they give you some interesting character introspective. Because I know one of them's pretty long, and it kind of gives you like an AU that says like, well, what would happen if things are slightly different? So here's what their true characters are. Mm-hmm. Here's what can kind of like twist whatever. They're also the first side story is also an ABO, so you know, there's that. There is a baby in it.
Do you like babies?
Yeah, there's another one that's going to come out where Hojin is actually like a fox spirit, which is really cute too.
Oh, that sounds cute.
Yeah, he's a fox spirit, and Yooseong is originally was a Catholic exorcist.
All right.
And then switched over to a Korean priest.
All right.
Which he didn't want to be the priest because or I think it's a shaman is what it is. It's like a Korean shaman, but he didn't want to be a shaman because he would have to wear women's clothing and makeup. That was his thing. He's like, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to become a Catholic priest instead.
Okay.
He's a little bitch ass.
Well, I also don't know why he has to wear women's clothing.
I think it's part of how Korean shamans work. That's like the uniform for it is women's clothing. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You can find Dokdo on Twitter at Dokdo Gongji. So that's DACTOGONGJI on Twitter, of course. They have another short comic that's been released on Mr. Blue, or I think it's Mr. Blue or On Blue, but It's only in Korean, so if it's not translated yet, if you want to go there and throw some coins or in-app currency or whatever at them and buy just look at it, please do. But it's time. What is your whole rating?
I was actually thinking about this a lot as we were going. There's a lot that I really, 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 really like about this.
Mm-hmm.
And you have hinted that I'm going to get a lot of revenge out of this,
Mm-hmm.
like, that I want. I don't feel like I can give it a full 10.
That's fine.
I don't even feel like I can give it a 9, because I think, like, there's just enough things in it that are fucky-wucky that I'd frown.
Mm-hmm.
I'd frown and need a break from reading. But I want to give it a very high rating, so I'm actually going to just say 8.5 out of 10 whole. Because, like, again, there's so much that I feel like I really like about this. And then just, like, a couple things I'm like, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, 8.5 out of 10.
I will accept. I'm also going to talk to you about this extensively immediately after this because I'm obsessed with it and I need everybody to look at it.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. I just found out they release Korean books and nobody's translated them into English, and I'm debating spending $200 buying the Korean books that I can't even fucking read.
Holy moly.
We're almost reaching Kingsmaker territory in my level of love for this. So, Oops. Well, if you need more whole, you can follow us on YouTube and Spotify so you don't miss an episode. You can listen to clips of episodes and keep up with announcements that we have on our Tumblr and our Bluesky at whole-chat for both of them. And if you just want to contact us, you can slide us an email at whole.chat.69@gmail.com. This is going to be the last episode for this year, obviously. This should be going up on the 27th. So just so you guys know, we're taking a break next week because it's holidays and I need to log the fuck off of my brain. So we're going to come back at you with new whole chat. Should be on January 10th. That's going to be the next episode. We'll let you know on our socials if that changes. But yeah, since we won't see you for a bit, Happy New Year. Don't get too wasted. Don't kidnap anybody and try to keep them in your house for a year to work out your sexual aggressions. And
that is what happened to this Hojin guy.
Mm-hmm.
It just hit me that he was kidnapped. Because my brain's like, well, he bought him. No, you don't buy people. Oh my god. My god.
Yeah, no kidnappings, please. And keep it tight.
Yeah, keep it tight.